Yeah, like I never understood like caviar either. Like that's like people's sort of symbol of I made it in life when they can eat caviar.
That's upper
like
crust there,
fish
isn't
eggs.
it? Like,
Eating
probably all.
Yeah.
Do you eat caviar? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Every day, mix it in with the sea moss, isn't it?
Yeah,
You understand why we brought you in for questioning, yeah?
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure I'll...
For the reason you left Thurles, we caught you back for whatever that was. Here now.
It's been more than 5 years I can talk now, you know. I'm no longer silenced.
Yeah.
So you're the second Gogsy we've had on, yeah?
I'm the second guy you've had on, yeah.
Well, I met a guy 2 weeks ago in town.
Yeah, I have stories.
Yeah. And he told me he was actually the real Gogsy. I said, I know the real Gogsy. I grew up with the real Gogsy.
Yeah.
He said, no, that's not the real Gogsy. That's Gogsy the second.
Right. Well, listen, he's going to be watching this and he's going to have to tell the facts. He's the oldest Gogsy is what he is.
Okay.
He's not the real one.
He told me he was the real one. You're all just imitators.
Yeah. He's definitely
funny.
the oldest. He's not the biggest legend, though, unfortunately.
Is he not?
No.
He told me he was.
But you're going to say blowing your own trumpet and all that carry on.
So welcome back to Everything from Nothing. We're back again. It's been a few months. Stevie was busy eating animals. The reason Stevie eats animals, Stevie would love to be a vegetarian. He hates meat. But the reason, do you know that, Adam? The reason Stevie eats animals is because he hates animals. And that's the only reason why he eats animals. Isn't that why we were gone for the last few months?
I'm so sick of you just throwing random things at
It's
me
not random.
every
Where were we then? Right.
Is anyone a vegetarian here?
I'm a pescatarian. I eat a bit of fish.
Okay.
I eat a bit of dairy and that.
I would like to be vegetarian.
I don't
I'm
care.
such a picky
Except you hate animals.
No, genuinely. I'm just a very picky eater. Like I had an orange for the first time at the age of 20. Like
Stevie still has never had a banana.
yeah.
Richie.
But
Yeah.
I'm getting through it. Like I'm eating a lot more veg now. Like it's like
Yeah.
I love onion, I love garlic, I love broccoli. Like
Jeez, that's good.
yeah.
We've all had our food traumas, though, haven't we? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I think I was like 18 the first time I ate bacon or something. Or
Were you?
cheese. Yeah.
No way.
What did you eat when you grew up? Findus crispy pancakes?
Also, this is Richie O'Gorman just before.
I
Right.
was eating. Hello there, boys.
Yeah. What were you eating?
I was eating the normal meat and veg, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Spuds, whatever was put in front of me, basically, is what I was eating.
Dan Duggan Sweet Shop.
But I didn't really eat Dan Duggan's sweet shop, yeah. Or what's the one down the road?
Oh, yeah, O'Mahony's.
Mahoney's, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was
Bunty.
Mine Road.
Bunty, was that Bunty? What do we call him?
So, I don't know.
Bunty. I think.
Which one? Yeah, where in Mine Road was that then?
It's kind of on the main stretch.
Yeah, it's in the old bit, Old Mine Road.
Okay.
It's on the boulevard.
Yeah.
No, the original bit.
The main drag.
Yeah. The front line.
You had two shops in Mine Road back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiled for choice, weren't we?
We're joined by Richie. You're just back from London. So
Yeah.
where you're only allowed to pick one now. Tipperary or London. There's no, they have their boat. Like you woken up. What's your favourite, Tipperary or London?
What, to live in?
In general, like if you had to delete one of them, which would you delete?
That's fucking hardcore, man. Like, all my family would just disappear.
Oh, so okay, that's the answer. Okay,
I'd say at two different stages of my life. At one stage of my life now, I'd pick Tipperary.
okay,
But when I was younger, I would have deleted it.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. I
that's
agree
fair,
with
you
that.
know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is it like? How is it? Did you come back to Ireland much? 'Cause,
Yeah, I'm back about 3-4 times a year at least.
yeah.
Before COVID, I was home about 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay.
You know.
How long are you living in London then?
I went there originally in 1998.
Yeah.
So, and then I stayed coming back for a year and coming and going. But I've been in London full time now since 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the story behind why you went there in the first place, or?
I suppose I was up to no good really, to be fair. Doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, you know, like other young lads of my age at the time. And I thought, you know, if I don't go now, I might make it out live, you know.
That's true.
It's one of them ones. There was a lot going on for me. I didn't.
1998. I remember it well.
Yeah.
I remember hanging out with you, Miggles, and Glossy down at the swimming pool car park before the source was built.
Yeah.
Smoking fags.
Some spot, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And talking about flogs in the bog and all these
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
things that
yeah.
were going on.
Out in the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you out with the flag in the back?
Oh God, I was. Yeah, I was out with 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they fun?
They were. Yeah, they were. If the afters wasn't fun though, you know.
Yeah. What was it like though when you first went to London? Like, was it weird? Did it take you long to settle or?
Well, where I went to first was Wembley Central when I went over there in 1998.
Okay.
That was obviously for a culture shock to me when I went over there first because it was all, mostly Asian community lived in Wembley Central.
Okay.
And the Somalians.
Okay.
So Somalians and we'll say Bangladeshi Indians lived in there. So obviously all the shops were different. The smells in the shop, you know, and it's straight in the middle of the city. So from a quiet town, Thurles, to all the nice of the city, it was a big like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but I mean, after a while, it's the same as that, and you get used to it. You know, I did move around a lot at the start when I was over there. I spent some time homeless, hostels, all that carry on. For the first couple of years, you know.
Was it hard? You like? Well, I can't compare them, but like, what was it like being homeless in London? Like, was it?
Oh, it was desperate. Like, to be fair, it was bad. But the only thing is there was help there if you needed it. You know what I mean? You could get into a hostel. You could get a place that would give you use of the telephones to find yourself work.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. So I mean, on that side, compared to being homeless in the UK.
Yeah.
Or you know, in a third world country where you don't get no help at all. You know, I've been to Morocco, man. I've seen people over there homeless, and that's it. There's nothing. There's no help or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the UK, there's help there. Even now, there's help for people. You know.
Okay. That's it. And so the T-shirt you're wearing, the more blacks, more dogs, more Irish.
Yeah.
That's the brand that you started.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
So originally, when I went to London,
Yeah.
it wasn't the English that were welcoming me with open arms. I didn't understand that at the time. It was mostly people from Caribbean backgrounds, you know.
Okay.
And through the years, then I understood, you know, the common struggle that they both had when they went over there during the Windrush years. You know, the early 50s, 40s, 50s. It was mostly the Irish and the blacks that were, you know, ostracised from certain places, bed and breakfast, pubs, shops, etc. You know, so they formed a common bond. So the more I understood about that, then I understood why these people were so friendly, and then you know the common history that we shared as well. So just one day I thought to myself, you know what? I think I'll turn it on its head and flip it around. You know.
Yeah.
So I did that. I think originally in about 2000 and maybe 2010.
Okay.
I made the T-shirt for myself.
Yeah.
And I'd wear it occasionally and all the rest. And it was in 2016, I had the T-shirt on me again, just maybe 4 or 5 years later, randomly, and someone spotted it. But it was the time of the Brexit, you know, and things were a bit heated in London at the time, you know, immigration and this, that, and all the rest. And you know, certain things were starting to rise their ugly head, you know, racism, what have you. So, and just stupidness, you know. So someone took a picture of me wearing the T-shirt, and they tagged me on Instagram, and then I just started getting flooded with messages, and I said, you know what, now it's time to hit the button, you know.
That's what I mean. Because originally it's based off, because there was actual signs they used to put up that said no blacks, no dogs, no Irish.
Yeah.
And it was like common to see them in pubs and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they also had signs where it said help wanted, no Irish, need apply.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's strange. What was their problem?
I don't know
What did we do?
Huh?
What did we do?
They want us to do the work, but they don't want nothing else. Like.
I know.
That's right.
And I know there was a time there a woman journalist went online and wrote an article saying that these signs didn't exist, that it was a lie perpetuated by the Irish just to make them feel hard done by and all the rest. So
There's photos of them and everything.
there's photos of them and all, and even there's a chap actually. He passed away there a couple of weeks ago. His name is Simon Emerson from Afro Celt Sound System. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
So Lord have mercy to Simon, yeah, rest in peace. We went and did what would you call it, a collaboration with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they put the tour dates on the back of the shirt and
Lovely.
this on the front. And he was telling us his story, and he said that his own grandmother actually had a sign on a B&B down in Great Yarmouth.
Oh, wow.
And that he came home, I think, with a friend of his from Trinidad one time, and you know, he was getting funny looks in that, and he said, look, them days are gone, them signs ain't on the door anymore, like.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, people have, when we started originally, we did a Facebook page as well, and what people would do is, if they bought a t-shirt or whatever, they'd send in their story of what it was like for them when they came over, or what it was like for their grandfathers, you know, because there's quite a lot of mixed we say heritage Irish and Jamaican people that live in London.
Yeah.
So they seem to just hit it off straight away anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So there's loads of people who would have Irish parents and Jamaican parents both, you know. So you'd hear the story from both sides, you know. And I think a lot of that was because of, you know, them coming together. You know, there was like, what do you call them? Like drinking houses and stuff, you know. And it would only be the Irish and the Caribbeans, predominantly the Jamaicans that would be in there together, you know.
That's mad. What's the history, like, how about, I actually don't know about that specifically, like, Caribbeans, like, how about them going to, like, getting to England? What's the history behind, is it the same?
Well, so the obviously it was a Commonwealth country.
Yeah.
So they wanted work done, the English.
Yeah.
And it was probably jobs that they didn't see were fit for them or were below them. So they obviously brought in everyone from those areas, yeah.
That's mad. That's strange.
So there'll be a load of building work and stuff after the war, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the Caribbeans did mostly the buses and they did the NHS work, nurses and that, you know. That would be the main things they were doing.
Did you see Olive Collins, your neighbour, wrote a book about?
Yeah,
it,
I did,
know,
yeah.
The tie between us, yeah, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Very good, yeah.
What was it about?
It's about the Irish going out to the Caribbean,
okay.
isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's Cromwell times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a big Irish community in Montserrat. Have you seen the if you go on YouTube you'll see
Accents, is it?
the black Irish in Montserrat.
Yeah.
The Cork kind of accents.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
Cork, Lilt and all, and the Dailies and the Sweeneys.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
mad. Like,
So they have features like Irish, like you know, like an Irishman's features, you know?
Yeah.
And their skin is brown,
Yeah.
right? So you can see it in them, you know.
Yeah.
And when you hear them talking, then as well, they're from the island is where they live is Kinsale. It's an old one from TG4 from the 70s, now a documentary that's been put onto YouTube.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they're singing Osquailga and Everton, man.
Wow.
Is the island called Kinsale, is it?
No,
Or is there...
the island's called Montserrat.
Okay, sorry.
But the place where they went to was Kinsale in Montserrat.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Emerald Isle,
So
yeah.
That's mad.
And they go mad for St. Patrick's Day and all that as well.
That's mad.
Because I once knew a girl years ago and she used to say to me, a black girl, and she was like, "Oh, sure, I'm Irish." And I was like, "How are you Irish?" Like, you know?
Yeah.
It's the first time I come in contact with people at all, like, and you're telling me you're Irish. And she said, "Oh, my mother's Irish." And I was like, "How was your mother Irish?"
I met black Irish people as well in Plymouth.
Did you? Yeah. It's class, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
That is mad. Like.
Yeah.
But I remember even going into a building site and lads with Mayo accents. Like they were owl fellas. They were like, I don't know. To me, they looked ancient.
Yeah.
And they were there in their shirt and tie, shoveling. It was a small building job, like renovating a shop. And I was going, oh my God, this is like slipping back to the 50s, you know? They'll send them over the right way now. And I told them I was a student. I was supposed to go into this building site and stuff. They were just looking at me going, "Jeez, you've been handy." You know what I mean? Compared to us, they were digging out by hand, and oh man.
Oh, I'm telling you, listen, I did a job one time with a lad, and the lads are afraid to go down into the hole. It was fucking covered in shite, you know,
Yeah.
to fill up. And your man says, "Jess, he had a good fine watching him, yeah?"
Yeah.
Took off the watch and he rolled up the fucking shirt.
Yeah.
6 hands straight in the hole anyway.
No, yeah.
And he
Unblocked.
unplugged out whatever was in there, all this shit. And
Yeah.
he says, all that's in there is a load of shite and a few of Dracula's tea bags. You know what Dracula's tea bags are, right?
Not sure.
Tampax.
Oh, is it? Okay, lovely.
I never heard it before in my life. Stitches, like.
Fucking.
Oh.
Dracula's tea bags, huh?
And he didn't mind at all.
Not bothering him. Didn't even wash his hands anyway. Just fucking roll sleep.
Had the
Watch
sandwiches.
back on.
Had the sandwiches. Yeah. Very bad.
Oh man.
That's man.
What about growing up in Thurles? And I remember you in Scouts and stuff.
I was in the Cubs and the Scouts.
Yeah. Your dad was a leader and everything.
He was,
wasn't
yeah.
I was in it as well. It was a bit of crack.
and
Tommy Dowd.
Tommy Dowd, yeah.
And Sass Malumbi.
Sass, Jesus, yeah.
Jeez, it was brilliant crack.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
I
fairness.
loved it. Yeah.
I think that was probably like one of the highlights of growing up, to be fair. We went everywhere, so didn't
Lighting fires and
we? Yeah, building tents and all sorts to carry on, big wax and...
causing problems.
Yeah, I like that, man. That was a good time.
Off to Kinnity and where else did we go? Into a few places anyway, yeah, but it was right crack, wasn't it?
Where was the base for that in town?
Croke Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
And I
Ben Hughes' family, wouldn't it?
The yard there, but
Yeah.
I remember we used to kind of hang out up in Parkview Drive as well. We used to say we were practicing camp, and we used to just go drink.
Practicing camp.
Yeah, we had to practice for some competition
wish
that I
I
never
used
turned
that.
up to. I never went to any of these competitions, but we used to tell Tommy and the fathers and mothers that were up around there that we were going
What
to
are you doing?
practice.
Yeah.
We were all in the one patrol and we were all going to practice for the competitions that were coming up.
That's
which all we do is go out drinking like and
They're bad, aren't they?
That's brilliant.
smoking and drinking.
wish I
That's
thought
what we were
that.
practicing. Yeah, it was great. crack.
Like we needed any help with it, huh? Yeah.
And Mine Road as well was a great crack of a place to hang out with, like, you know.
Yeah. With Shane Collins.
Yeah. Shane Nolan and Shane Dan Collins. It was Donald Collins. Who else?
So Collins was there, and then there was
Stephen-
Shane Collins around the back.
Oh,
as well,
Shane
wasn't it?
Collins. Yeah. I forgot about it. Yeah. There was two Collinses there. Paul as well under.
His father was actually marrying me.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, we
Oh,
were
you-
having a humanist wedding, so
Oh, wow.
I met him down the Horse and Jockey there about, say,
Wow.
3 months ago, and he says, we're neighbours, and I just thought because he's from Tipperary.
Yeah.
And he said, you're good friends with my son Shane. I said, Jesus, I didn't even recognise
I
him.
forgot
you know,
about
it's been
Shane.
so long,
Yeah, up around the back.
What's so you're getting married soon? What's a humanist wedding? What?
So a humanist wedding would be like a spiritualist, you know,
Yeah.
just nothing got to do with the Catholic Church. So we'd be doing the old Celtic tradition, you know,
That's
the
the
binding of the hands, you know.
Yeah,
I'll say a
I
prayer
like
for you,
that.
guys.
Will you? Yeah. I'd say a prayer for myself as well, I guarantee you. I probably need it, like.
Good Catholic prayer.
Yeah.
To get you through the
If
humanist
the
wedding.
stag is nothing to go by, I think I'm going to need a lot of prayers, you know.
Hey, come here. And your wife to be, where did you meet her?
I met her in London 8 years ago, internet dating.
Wow, that's
No
cool.
way.
And that one of the success stories. you know.
What's her name?
Terrain.
Train. Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's the brains behind all the businesses.
Yeah, you were saying that
Oh,
she
she is.
keeps the whole thing.
She keeps it all a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
So does she do the clothing brand with you then?
Yeah, so she does everything behind the scenes, you know.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I'm the one who came up with the slogan and all the rest, you know.
Yeah.
I'm the creative genius, you know.
Yeah.
She's the boss.
Yeah.
She keeps everything going, you know.
Yeah.
But she's the real boss behind the scenes, you know.
I know.
Did you see a girl recently, maybe a couple of years ago, I think it was just before the pandemic, someone spray painting that up in Dublin, I think. Did
Go
you
ahead.
see that? Yeah, a mural of that.
No, I
It's
don't
exact-
know.
of your font and stuff.
Note to
Like,
self to
obviously-
send an invoice.
Yeah,
will,
sue
yeah.
sue them. It's not cause, it's art.
yeah.
Sue them.
This is it.
Yeah. But yeah.
A lad did it on the Berlin Wall as well.
No way.
He done the shamrock for the Irish, and then he done the black fist, and then he done the a dog.
Cool.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
obviously, like, he just did
The
it.
symbol for each
Yeah,
one.
symbol
Like,
for each
that's
one,
actually
yeah.
cool.
That's really
It was class.
That'd be a cool thing to get in to make like a kind of t-shirt out of as well,
Mm.
like the symbols. So you have another business as well that I didn't know about till about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Which is selling sea moss. It's pretty random.
Sea moss, yeah. So I import Irish moss, sea moss,
Yeah.
sea vegetables from Donegal, and I sell them all over the world, worldwide. We do market stalls over in London as well.
That's
Do all the
mad.
vegan events and all that sort of carry on as well.
How does when I was younger, I used to always think like, do you know, some people like they sell the random thing, like someone has to sell straws, someone has to obviously sell sea moss. How do you end up selling sea moss?
From taking it myself. So
Okay.
obviously, I'd say about 2014, 15, I started changing my habits, so to
Okay.
speak, you know, and eating habits was one of them as well. And I started getting into health and fitness and what have you. And I originally found out about sea moss from the Caribbeans, right?
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of it, and they have drinks over there that they call Irish moss.
Okay.
So when I researched more into it then as well, I found out that there's two types of moss. There's Garcilius, which is one species, which is grown in like warmer climates, you know, Caribbean, Grenada, St. Lucia. You get a lot of it in like Tanzania, Africa, places like that. And then we have the Chundas crispus, which is the Irish moss, Irish sea moss. And that would be Atlantic moss grown in the colder climates. So the Atlantic moss would hold more minerals than the warmer one, you know?
Yeah.
So I was buying stuff and the quality of the stuff wasn't good at all, you know? So I said to myself, well, Jesus, I may as well go home and get it myself, in all fairness. Why am I going to these shops over here in England when I can, you know, put a few pound back in Ireland as well myself, you know? Yeah. So, I started that in about 2019, and then COVID hit. And, you know, COVID was bad for some, good for others, and fortunately enough, it was good for us, you know?
Yeah.
Because the sea moss is used to expel mucus from the body, you know?
Yeah.
And COVID being a respiratory issue as well, it was fucking a no-brainer, you know?
Yeah,
But people started talking about it as well, and there was a man by the name of Dr. Sebi.
Okay.
And he had died around the same time when COVID came, and he was a main advocate for sea moss, started speaking about it and all the rest. So, you know what it is, when someone dies, their music gets played more and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously when he passed away, his videos started getting, you know, coming out more and all the rest, and they realised, you know, the powers of the moss. So, so I started that, man, from taking it myself and not finding a good source.
Yeah.
That's what really led me to it as well, you know.
How do you take it? Like, what is it, in a tablet or what?
No, so it's, you get the dry sea moss comes out of the sea, it's dried by the sun.
Yeah.
Right? So you have sun kissed
Lovely.
or sun bleach as they call it, and then you have a darker moss, which would be dark purple, right?
Yeah.
That's dried indoors. The darker the pigment of the moss, the more nutrients are readily available, you know, but they're both just as good as one another. So then when you get it, you soak it for an hour with some limes or lemons to kill off any impurities or any of the sea taste, you know. Soak it for an hour, it expands, put it in the pot, bring it to the boil, and then as soon as you see the bubbles, turn it down, let it simmer for about 15 minutes, and it starts to go gelatinous. When you're stirring it and you see it go gelatinous, then you blend it.
Okay.
And then you just decant it into glass jars and it will set into like a hard jelly.
Oh, wow.
And then you just consume. So a lot of people would add it to, like, would say, soups,
Teas.
smoothies.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add it to tea as well. You can
Yeah.
add it to, like, the missus puts it in her hot chocolate. But majority of people would use it in cooking as well. So it would thicken up a soup or a stew or a stock, a pasta sauce. I'm a Puritan, so I just take it in the morning down the hatch, you know. It hasn't got a bad taste or anything, you know.
It's grand. Is that like your breakfast? No.
Yeah, that's my breakfast, yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad.
That's good.
Mm.
And Coke Pops after?
No. Rice Krispies. Yeah. Try stick to the fruit and that, you know, moss and fruit in the morning, that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's cool to see the uprise in like stuff, like all like the kind of stuff, even algae and stuff that come, like spirulina and stuff
Yeah.
from, like that's massive now, and like the amount of like iron, zinc, and magnesium, all these things that are in it is insane. Like, and yeah, there's a lot of that coming from the sea, and as far as I know, yeah, even down in Cork as well, there's a lot of companies starting
There is, yeah.
selling stuff worldwide, all around the coast of Ireland, who has this sort of stuff, which is cool, or access to it, like.
Is there a big difference in quality of stuff as well? You're into the thing now.
There
You
is,
get to
because-
see. Is there rubbish out there as well and good
There's
stuff?
a whole lot of shit out there. Like
Is there?
Where we have a company now, you know, if you hashtag that and people start sending you stupid messages and all the rest, and we get inundated with companies from Vietnam asking, do we want to buy the moss, and a lot of stuff, it's the weight would be in the salt, dried salt stuck to it, you know. The majority of the moss you'll get, bar maybe say St. Lucia, I'm not saying Grenada is actually good for the wild stuff. It's all farmed, so it's all farmed on ropes to meet the demand, because everyone's on about the St. Lucia moss. But the darker the moss, which would be the Irish moss or the purple moss, the better that moss is for you. You know?
Yeah.
It's like anything that has like a really white colour or is low in carbon, and if it's low in carbon, then obviously it's not going to be as good for you as stuff that's you know, rich in pigment.
It's because like the farm stuff, like it's farmed in so much where it's not able to like soak up like the actual nutrients that naturally sort of come into it over time.
So where do we get the good stuff?
Donegal.
Yeah.
The west coast of Ireland. Anyone on the west coast of Ireland, you're good.
You have a website, have you?
We have, of course, yeah.
What's
Like
the
a
website?
shameless plug, yeah. It's called the Sea Moss Boss.
The Sea Moss Boss. That's a good
If you
name.
want to get good stuff, that's where you go.
That's where you go, yeah.
If you want to go get bad stuff, go anywhere else.
That's it, yeah. I was in selling some in the monks last night, I was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was, yeah.
Up in the pub.
Does it
That's
go good
mad.
with Guinness? Like,
I don't know now.
There's just a few lads up there. The
I'm
lads
on
in
and
pubs
after,
and,
yeah.
a few lads in the pubs in Thurles could do it. The old Sea Moss.
Well, if you go
Insane.
anywhere, like up in the west coast, and you go into the pubs up there, they all have dilsk, or the
Yeah,
dulse,
yeah,
they call it,
dilsk
behind the
is
counter.
big,
And
yeah.
they eat that like you eat fucking potato crisps, you know?
what is it?
It's a red
I might
algae,
have
red
some-
seaweed,
Yeah.
and it's pure salty, but it's high in vitamin B12 as well. So a lot of the vegans, the vegetarians, or the people on the alkaline diet, they'd be all over that sort of stuff, you know.
Jeez.
So that's what's kind of helped push the company as well, is the vegan movement
Yeah.
and the
There's,
vegetarians, because obviously they'd be missing out on a lot of vital nutrients.
yeah.
You know?
And all the sea spaghetti as well. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, we sell that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go kayaking out in the ocean. Like it would like picking it straight. I remember our instructor, we were going through, and he just picks off this big like strand, and like deep in the ocean, but the thing just travels the whole
All the way up, yeah.
And he just picks off and starts eating it, and I kind of was like, what is wrong, like that, like, and then he showed me those sea spaghetti, and I get it. It was just really salty, it was right in the
Yeah.
ocean, but yeah, I use it as well. Dilsk is one I'd get a lot as well, but the moss is one I haven't had, but yeah, you definitely, I don't know.
Send
It's,
you over some, don't worry, I'll send you over.
yeah, sound. That's why.
The sea spaghetti is great as well, because you see nowadays people are taking a lot of collagen supplements.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Skin. So they're either going to take bovine collagen or they'll take marine collagen. So instead of taking the marine collagen, you'd have like something like sea spaghetti, because it's full of
Yeah.
alginates, full of vitamin K, which helps you produce collagen naturally anyway. So you're just cutting out the middleman. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And come here, you do, apart from doing all the online stuff, you do markets and stuff as well.
We do farmer markets. We do one in South London, and we do one in Northwest London as well.
Yeah. And would you like have stuff there ready for people to eat and stuff?
Oh,
Or you just they'd buy it and take
Most
it
of
away.
the stuff you'd have to make it yourself,
Yeah.
unless we do the gel as well. So we prepare the gel for people that don't want to make it themselves,
Cool.
and then we do all the dry products.
That's
But I mean, further down the line, we're hoping to maybe start cooking with the stuff and maybe giving people meals as well. You know.
That's
Would you ever try to see, Massa, your thing with food? I know you only eat the things you hate, the animals or that, but would you try the gel thing?
I
'Cause
thought I would give it a go. Yeah.
would ya?
Yeah.
That's mad.
I'm more open to trying new foods.
That's good. Yeah, it's his first time. I'm not over exaggerating. First time he had water in here. Like that's mad. It's good.
Well, he's on water chasers, isn't he? He's chasing the water with Boost.
Yeah, but it's a good process, though. It's good. It actually is. It's good to.
Yeah.
It's been
all
a
about
while.
balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, it's hard to change eating habits. Though.
No, it is. I'm the
So
same. But I'm the same as you. Like that's why.
I'd eat anything.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't give a shit. Yeah.
It's texture for me more than taste. I think it is for a lot of people. Like, there's very few foods out there that taste so bad you couldn't physically eat it, but the texture of
Yeah,
it
I'm
really
the
puts it
same.
off.
I mean, I'd eat a bit of fish now, but I wouldn't. There's not a chance in the world I touch prawns.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
Jesus, no,
No way.
No. I just had this, I was saying to the missus, like, she'd eat, I said, they're just sea maggots. Sea cockroaches,
I know.
But I wouldn't eat prawns now. I wouldn't eat crab, or I wouldn't eat lobster, or any of that stuff, calamari, anything like that.
I'd actually have no problem actually eating cockroaches and stuff like that. It's actually something about lobsters and crabs and all that is just mad to me. It's like they're not even from this planet. Like they're like alien things.
We used to
like.
have a granduncle that used to try and gross us out when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because there was two of us, even though I wouldn't want to eat it, I'd just to try and torture my brother. I'd say, "Oh, this is lovely," you know.
What, so he'd be
to try and so the granduncle would gang up on him and go, "What's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you eat it?
Yeah,
Eat your dinner." He's not eating it. Look.
Says, your brother has no problem eating it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right, good.
And he used to dissect rabbits in front of us and stuff before he'd cook it. And he'd go, "Look, hold that. That's the heart. That's the heart." And
Take
see
a bite.
That's he'd tell you what all the parts of the rabbit he shot
The
were.
liver and all that, yeah.
See that? That's a bit of lead.
You don't eat that.
Literally,
Spit that out.
you throw that down. And I go, "Yeah, there's the heart." I'd be just as freaked out, but I'm pretending I wasn't, you know.
Being brave, like.
Yeah.
'Cause you were saying there about how you wouldn't like really eat lobster or crab. Like I actually saw a thing lately where they were saying lobster, like how it became like an actual delicacy. Like lobster used to be like considered terrible food, as in like that was like the cheap thing that like
rats,
like indentured servants and stuff would have been served lobster, or like people in prisons, or like it was
Way.
it was one of those things where they're just like, oh, we'll give it to them, to the point where like people would be like, please don't give me lobster today, like.
No way.
That's
then,
mad. Now it's like the rich.
Yeah.
But then it was because like I can't remember how it happened, but it was something like I can't remember where the idea came from.
Someone riled
But it was
or
basically
something.
like,
I heard
they ended up bringing it like inland, which meant that added cost to it. And then there was also the thing of like there was something to do with why the lobster had to be alive or something. It was like something like there was some reason why.
Ritualistic,
No, it wasn't even a ritual thing. It was something that happened with the meat or something that happened. Or was it? Or like they were easier to transport if they're alive. But there was some reason for that then as well, which added an extra element to it. I wish I had remembered it more, but like when you look into it, basically it was like it started off as like this thing that was like nobody wanted to eat, but they managed to turn it into this thing that like you pay like hundreds of dollars for a portion, like.
That's mental.
And it's crazy, like.
Yeah, like I never understood like caviar either. Like that's like people's sort of symbol of I made it in life when they can eat caviar.
That's upper
It's
crust
like
there,
fish
isn't it?
eggs.
Like,
Eating-
probably all.
Yeah.
Do you eat caviar? Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Every day, mix it in with the sea moss,
Different for it.
I don't mind the chicken eggs, but the fish eggs I'll leave alone. You know?
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, that's cool.
No, stuff from the sea I can't eat. Fish fingers I'll eat them, but nothing else.
Do you remember the shite we used to eat in the 80s? Like, as in fish fingers and little dinners.
Banana sandwiches.
Yeah.
Delicacy, huh?
And like, I think, yes, Findus Christie pancakes, they're the best. Like, that was like all this convenience food that came in. Like,
My highlight of the week was the Mona Lisa on Friday. You get a pound to get fucking chips and school special.
Would the
Used to
pound
love
do
that.
that?
Oh,
For,
pound used to do
for
that,
the
yeah.
school, like a meal
and
deal
you'd sit
kind
in
of
the
thing,
little chairs. Do you remember the chairs and everything? That was like,
The plastic chairs.
yeah.
That's mad.
The boots or whatever.
To be like a rush to McDonald's or something, you know.
Yeah, it was your birthday, so you could go to the Mona Lisa for your dinner. Pound special, wasn't it?
I was always jealous of Gary Kelly. Do you remember Gary Kelly?
Yeah.
When they used to own the pub there. in
Yeah, the Liberties, yeah.
And he was always getting a pound to go to fucking.
I remember.
Mona Lisa
I
all the time,
remember that. Yeah, I remember. How's he always get to
I
go?
know, yeah.
Whereas we only get to go on our birthday or something. They were busy running the pub. They didn't need the hassle. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Let's get on to the Mona Lisa. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I think Jelly used to go a lot as well. I remember.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was just thinking those lucky bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember lads as well. I remember other lads used to have custard creams for their lunch. And
What the fuck?
custard creams and Jersey creams. I just thought the lucky bastard.
What are the Jersey cream?
Yeah, I don't.
The custard creams they're like the Jersey creams, except a slightly different flavour.
Yeah.
And they
Different
were-
colour.
Yeah,
Jersey
they were
creams are
blue.
white.
Yeah.
Jersey creams I always thought were nicer. They were like kind of a vanilla flavour.
They were the thinking man's custard cream.
That's when you made it as well, wasn't
Exactly.
it?
Yeah, they were a little bit richer, but that was people's lunches back then. Yeah.
Hey, so your brand is doing well. You've had some well-known figures wear the t-shirt. Who's some people? You were just telling us Sinead O'Connor. You met Sinead O'Connor.
I met Sinead O'Connor last week, and
Yeah.
obviously I was saying to her who I was and that, and she said, "Oh, just have a couple of your t-shirts indoors, you know."
That's class.
Yeah, so I said to her, "Well, if you want some more," I said, "let me know, you know."
Yeah.
Exchange numbers with her. I'll meet her next week now and give her
lovely, that's
give her a
class.
hoodie or something, you know.
Yeah.
I think at the start of it, Andy Cairns from Therapy was
Yeah.
where I was like, "Yeah, I fucking made it by. Go on, right, good, you know."
Because he wore it on stage or something, was it?
He were on stage. Yeah, I think it was like Hamburg or something like that at some festival.
That's unreal.
Sent me in the picture. Yeah, there's been quite a few, like, you know.
Yeah, I see it on your Instagram. There's some people, and even just there's a lot of people from all backgrounds and stuff wearing
Yeah.
it. Like, it's really cool to see. Like,
It's a conversation piece, you know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. I mean, there's a message on the back of the t-shirt as well, which is just as important as what's.
well, I actually
what's in the
never seen the back. What's the back?
So on
part
the
say?
back of it, I'll show you now. It says
I don't think I.
depends on how you can read it, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's two ways.
No.
Yeah.
So
All right.
know your history and know our story. You know?
That's cool.
Our
Yeah.
story is different from other people's history, you know.
Yeah.
And we know the crack with history, isn't it? Only the victors write the history books.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So the same way I was telling you, as someone tried to brush it under the carpet like it didn't exist and it didn't happen, and it was a figment of our imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, anyone that knows this will know to carry on the back, you know.
No.
So those clued up will read Know Our Story,
Yeah.
and everyone else will see Know Your History or whatever, you know. But yeah, it was just, you know, it was basically it was the two fingers to fucking racists in the first place, you know.
Yeah.
I was in a pub one night and I was wearing it, and a dad looked at me and he said, "You'll be the first one I glass in the face."
Okay.
And I said to him, "You mean to tell me you glass a dog in the face? You mad bastard, Joe, you know? Why would you do that into the dog? You know, don't mind, I can fend for myself, like, a poor old dog."
Yeah.
But we got a lot of stick, you know, we got a lot of stick off people when we started it first. You know, we even had the windows of our house smashed in and all.
Really?
Yeah, by some, I think it was EDL or one of these crowd. Somebody wore t-shirts in defiance and tagged in Britain First, EDL, Tommy Robinson, all these crowds in, and then obviously they'd saw the link to obviously us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, word them out or whatever, man. They found out where the house was and they came around and they bricked the windows, you know.
That's mad.
But,
And who? What sort of group? Is it a group you think done it, or just someone?
I'd say it's fucking
Yeah,
just some
couple
head case, isn't it, you know.
individual. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, you don't. Probably someone who's involved in that sort of carry on, you know.
And I know England is always like, it was like sort of like the racism and stuff in the past was definitely like a group sort of thing. And is that still going on in that way, or is it kind of more of just a large collection of individuals now?
I'd say I mean, there's always going to be underground people, isn't there? You know what I mean? So like back in, we'll say, the 80s and stuff, it was still widespread, even early 90s, you know.
Yeah.
The times when Stephen Lawrence was murdered, like that was, you know, it was known that NF were still allowed to march through New Cross and stuff, you know. So they were getting away with it. Same with the EDL and stuff like that as well. They were allowed
Who are
to
the
march.
EDL again?
They were the English Defence League, who Tommy
Okay.
Robinson was
Okay.
involved in, or started or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
But, you're always going to breakaway groups, aren't you? You know.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people believe in one thing, and some people believe in something else. You know.
Yeah.
Some people just want to remain as they are and don't want to hate other people. Other people are just all about the hate. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, for every one person that we got a bit of hate off, there's 1,000 that
More
love.
love.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it was a two fingers in the face to people who preferred the original signs.
Yeah.
So if you don't like this, it basically is highlighting the fact that you prefer
You
the
like
other
the
one.
other side.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
so that's
can't.
so now I know
yeah.
already what side of the fence you're on around to deal with you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then other people would be like, "Oh, what's that about?" And they'd ask a question, you tell them, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a conversation piece. It's about educating people about our, you know, our past, our combined
Yeah.
struggles, and that, you know.
I was at a march in. I wasn't at a march. I was in London, and there was a march going by.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
all right, yeah.
But anyway, there was a march going by, and it was all racists, and you know what I mean. Whatever, it was all that kind of thing, and they were all
Yeah.
screaming and roaring. So I thought this is something to do. I said, watch this.
Hang on here for a bit, like, yeah.
Hang on and have a look at this. And it was down at the end. I can't remember. Is it Leicester Square, Trafalgar Square? I can't remember where it all ended. But they were all in this circle thing, screaming and roaring, and they were all skinheads, and they were like,
Yeah.
your man, the comedian, you know, the Al, whatever his name is, bartender guy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Roaring and screaming. And there was like I was standing there looking at them. There was police all around them, kind of keeping them from doing anything. And there was an Indian guy beside me, and they were roaring, screaming at him. And he was just looking like me, as in, this is entertainment.
Yeah, he didn't know what's going on.
But what I thought was really interesting, I thought, oh my God, they'll kill him if they get loose. But it kind of finished, and they just walked away, and they looked at him. They weren't screaming. It was almost like a performance piece. And I think it was like for each other a sense of belonging that, I'm part of this, I'm really tough, but didn't really hate your man.
Was this about, say, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a picture floating on the internet where the crowd broke up.
Yeah.
And, they started having a little scuffle and that, and one of the white geezers that was there, the English geezers, must have got broken up from the group, and a lot of lads attacked him, and then you had to see some black geezer picking him up,
I
on his
seen
shoulder
that,
and walking him out,
Yeah.
So I don't know if it go the other way,
Oh yeah, don't know.
Yeah.
But like it just dissipated into nothing. After I thought they were all going, like, how are you going to get rid of these guys? They're ready to explode, but.
I think it's all a show as well.
It was nonsense.
It's a pantomime. Sure, life is a pantomime as it is.
Yeah,
Like I always think it's mad when there is like a weird like kind of hypocrisy to it when people have those kind of beliefs. That, like when you properly analyze them, it's like, because I remember watching a Louis Theroux documentary when he went to visit like the neo-Nazis in America, and your man was working as like, was he like a TV repairman or something? And he was like, there was a guy, I think the guy, I can't remember where he was from, but the guy was like not of white heritage, and like. Your man would go there and he'd talk away to him like, oh, this is my best client, and they're talking away like they're friends. And then afterwards, Louis Theroux was like, so you're friends with that guy? And he's like, no, I'm not friends with him. He's not white. And he's like, but you're acting like you're friends, and he's your best client. He was trying to show your man that's like, you are actually friends with this person, and you actually don't care about like his race. But then as soon as you're away from him, you're trying to pretend you do.
Yeah.
And it just exposed the hypocrisy of when people do things like that. That's like they can actually be friends with people. It's just like this weird block they have.
I can't because my friends wouldn't like it,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a lot of that going on, probably more so than anything else, undercover racism and all that carry on.
Yeah.
When, everyone's fine when they're with people, but then when you're with the next crowd of people, you behave a certain way because that's how they behave,
Yeah.
And there's people who haven't got no backbone or can't stand up for themselves or are afraid to have a different opinion,
There's some people as well that are kind of like racist but don't realise they're racist.
Yeah.
When I was like, I went to college in England, so I remember like the lecturers used to be quite racist without realising it, and they go, there was one cow that used to go, like, you do your thing, you'd be working flat out, you haven't slept in days, and she goes, that sounds like a load of old blarney to me. Ha ha ha. You Irish, you're gas and all this, and you want to kill her, like you want to absolutely kill her.
I got a lot of that when I went over first. It was all fucking nabby paddy. Like, I didn't really catch on to the Cockney slang for a while, I was on a job in about maybe 99.
Yeah.
And your mum was like, all right, nabby. And I was like, just thought that was just shit they were saying. And then he was getting in, it was going from nabby to tea caddy.
What's nice?
Tea caddy would be Cockney slang for paddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then there's obviously tea caddy. So go get the tea,
Yeah.
Someone always makes tea on the job.
Yeah,
So, it was like nabby paddy, tea caddy, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue what was going on first. And then obviously when I was aware of it, I was like, even to the thing that people call me paddy, I wouldn't let any man call me paddy. You can call me Irish. My nickname over in London is Irish anyway. That's the way I spell it, EYERASH. So you can call me Irish because that's what I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not a paddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll draw a line. I mean, if I knew someone on a personal level, they could call me paddy. You know what I mean? In joking terms. As long as I know you.
Yeah.
But you're not a stranger.
That's different.
But you have to nip that shit in the bud.
Yeah,
Because once one lad starts calling you, they'll all call you.
Yeah.
And you would, like, how do you call someone out on that? Like, because to me, it was uncomfortable because your one thought she was hilarious. Like, you know what I mean? And I just, like, what?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
strange. Like.
We had services lecture as well. He was a dick. And he was like, he used to go, it's like the old story of the Irish lad on the building site, right? You guys will love this. And I'm
Like, no, I'm not going to fucking love it.
no, he fucking won't.
Yeah.
I like that. And he'd go, like, you see him going red as ever. Like, well, you don't want to bully him either. Like, you know what I mean? But
Because it's like a pure ignorance kind of thing.
he's just
like.
an idiot.
I remember all the jokes when we were growing up. Paddy Englishman, Paddy Irishman, Paddy Scotchman.
Yeah.
It was always like the Irish one at the end would be the
idiot. Yeah.
But in Ireland we have it ourselves because we instead of
Kerry,
saying the Kerry man,
Yeah,
I was confused the Kerry man.
Yeah. That's fair.
Put three shovels and tell him to take his pick. All that sort of carry on. Like, they were all going around as well.
In fairness, that is Kerry's fault for being so uneducated as far as Ireland goes. Oh, yes, no, I like the Kerry people. But yeah, no, it is weird. I think there's like different layers. There's like that individual kind of thing of like the ignorance kind of thing of that, and I definitely think like intrinsically, like as humans, like it's just like a thing of forming community, and you see that all the time where like people would say, no, I'm not racist, like I went to school in America, you'd see it a lot, like I went to school with a black lad, it's like I'm friends with him, and that's not what, and they always say that's not what our cause is about, and it's about, but like really their cause and its like background is about something like sort of racist, but they're the only reason, like I believe, and maybe I'm just being like sort of optimistic, that a lot of those people are just in that group because that is their only community, especially like in middle America and stuff. Like they're banding around a thing that I think if they spend time around those cultures, I think majority people don't naturally hate, and but like it's like that they have no sense of community, so they find the closest thing, which is something with bad history, and then they get together, and now they have to keep the club alive. Now they have to actually do the thing. Well, look, it's weird. Like,
no, I agree with you totally, because like there's a documentary on YouTube. I think it's called White Tribe. Right?
Yeah,
and there's actually a man, he's passed away from Jamaica, who done this one, right?
Yeah,
and it's basically because everyone's got a story. Everything stems from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So we'll say the White Tribe one was basically about working white English working class people, right? And how they were getting the wrong end of the stick and all the rest. And then what happens is they turn to the next best thing. No one ever looks up there. They always look at eye level. So if someone else, he's coming taking my job, no one ever looks to the to the government, to not providing stuff for the people in their own town and stuff. You see the same here. You see the same immigration, all that as well. People start getting mad when there's homeless people on the street in Ireland, and then you see people coming in being given stuff, so automatically they're going to attack the people who are giving us stuff and not the people who are not providing stuff for us. That's right? True, so it's this has been going on for since the dawn of man.
It's like, is it you that was on about that photo with the cookies or something? Like that it's like, see, you saying there's this photo of like there's a guy. You explain it better.
There's a picture of like there's a guy in a suit with like there's like a black guy in like a construction outfit, and then there's like a white guy. And basically like it's like the white guy has like a cookie on his plate, and the rich guy has like a plate full of cookies. Yeah. And like the white guy just like is like the rich guy is whispering to the white guy, like, watch out for him, he's trying to take her cookie. Yeah. And it's just like
the rich guy has them all.
And it's just it just shows that that whole thing you're saying, like.
And that's what's happening, like
it's always been happening.
Yeah, government media all the way down is like to
divide and conquer.
Yeah.
There's another one on YouTube. Jeez, I should be an ambassador of YouTube, shouldn't I? Huh?
Yeah.
There's a podcast on YouTube called Everything from Nothing as well. Actually, if any are on YouTube.
Full of Gogsies. Yeah. Full collection.
But it's called Race Baiting 101.
Okay.
Right? And it shows like how simple it is to split people up, Yeah. So it had obviously, there was times when, black people and white people would come together. Yeah. And they'd rise up against, the people who are putting people who are putting us in these positions. Yeah. And all they do then was like they give the white man a penny more, or just a penny. And say, if you want to keep your penny, you make sure he doesn't get out of line. Yeah. And you do anything for that penny when you've got nothing. Yeah. And these are the things, simple little things that can split people up,
Yeah. It was the same. That was one of the most horrible things that was done in the sort of like concentration camps, was when they were like the Jewish people, that they would like, they didn't even offer them that much, only that they got to wear like clothes, but they had to be the ones to hit the other ones to make sure when they were crazy stuff. And it was something as small as like you get to wear the jacket, like you get to wear a jumper, like and it's like they, it's a hard thing, like. And then it was a weird thing. Then they get lots of hate, but it's like they were trying to survive, and then it becomes.
Would you do the same if you was given the opportunity? Didn't they do? They did an experiment in an American college, didn't they? Did they try to recreate something of that, where they had
the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? Like,
where
people
amazing.
Just power just went to their heads. They're only college students. Like
they turned into psychos. Like
of course they did.
Yeah, it's mental. Like
it's amazing what people will do. Like, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's oddly, like, I think it's kind of like in like human nature, because it's like when you're living on the plane of sort of the very old like Darwinistic survival aspect of, we are humans in the jungle and we need to, I think as long as we still live from that point of view of we're just sort of like animals living in.
Barbaric.
Yeah, I
Lord of
think
the
that
Flies,
will always be around until we start to see that maybe, not that we're like different from the animal kingdom, but like that there is a consciousness there that allows us to make conscious decisions, to make things out of love. Right, but as long as we're living in the sort of state of fear and stuff, that's why people will become that sort of animal. And
Do you believe everyone's born with empathy?
I
No.
do.
No.
I don't. No.
Okay. Do you?
I don't know if they're born empty. I don't believe anyone's born bad. Right. I don't know specifically if everyone's born empty. I don't think anyone was ever born bad. Maybe I do. I'm spiritual and believe that. I do believe people choose things before they come here. So maybe that people can choose to be whatever, and maybe I don't know. So I don't know. It's weird.
Do you think everyone has empathy?
I think it's. Yes, I'll just.
Yeah. Or they could lose
yes.
it.
I think they have it, and I think it's conditioned out of you. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that could be
depending
it,
on what you're in, you know. You go to like third world countries and you see how people live who have nothing, who you would expect to stand on each other's head to get something, and they're the most sharing and caring people.
I was around the shanty towns in South Africa, and I couldn't believe how nice the kids were to each other and sharing out sweets and stuff. We bought loads of sweets, and they were like giving them out to each other, and they were dividing up.
Yeah.
A bottle of Coke, and they were dividing up into little capfuls and shit like that.
Crazy, you know.
And I was like, and they were all smiley. I thought this is all an act for us.
Yeah.
Like. And then I said, look at the teenagers, they'll be sulky or something. There'll be something that. Oh no, they're kicking around an empty bottle. Oh, great form.
I saw it the same in Morocco as well.
Yeah.
We went to Morocco. We got engaged in Morocco in 2018, and a few bob left in the dirhams, you know, in their currency. And I said, you know what, no point changing it back.
Yeah.
So I just changed it into the lowest denomination, and then I bought bags of bread.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was a big population of Syrian refugees in Morocco as well, in Marrakesh.
Yeah.
But apparently they're allowed to beg by the government.
Okay.
But the locals aren't allowed to beg, right?
Whoa.
So what they would do, their only income was if they had someone in the family who was disabled, they were literally the breadwinners. Because obviously in a Islamic country, part of Islam is to give, right? One of the pillars of Islam is charity, right? So some people will give if they see someone who can't work or can't whatever, then they will give money to them or they'll give them food or whatever. So if you had someone who was not able to work, they were the actually main breadwinners in the family, right?
Wow.
So they bring them into town, they leave them in town in a wheelchair with a sign or whatever, and they just come and collect them in the evening and take them home.
Wow.
But there was like bunches of street kids, right? Like homeless street kids over there. And, you know, obviously saying what I told you earlier on, like having the experience myself, I've been homeless and that.
Yeah.
And knowing you can get help. And just to see that. And these are kids who are like 6, 7, and they've got nothing. The older kids, you'd see them picking on them, beating them up or taking stuff up their stall. So I went around for the day anyway, giving stuff out, right? Yeah. I must have done a lap of Marrakesh Square about 3 times, right? Just kept doing it, going round again. And I got back to the hotel anyway. And there was some kids out there, and I was eating a pizza myself and the missus, right? Yeah. And I saw the kid looking over at me. And he came over and he said, you know, like this. I said, I've no money, man, sorry. I'll have to give away everything. He said he didn't want food. He was like, he wanted food, he didn't want money, you know? So I said, yeah, when the food comes out, I'll give you some. Yeah. So he was sitting over across the road from me, and he was like playing with his little dinky and that, and he'd look over, but every time I'd look over, he'd look away. You know, because he knew, like, you know, don't be watching a man eating at the same time. So he has a form of respect. Yeah. So I gave him 3 slices of the pizza, thinking it was just for him. Yeah. And then before I give it to him, when I told him to come back, he came back and he had about 5 or 6 lads around the corner, and they split that up into like tiny little pieces, so they all ate. You know what I mean? Wow. So you'd think like I have to fight for myself. I'm going to eat the 3 pieces of slices myself, you know, or slices of pizza. But no, they share it. So we have a lot to learn from people who have less than us.
Definitely.
You know, and nothing to learn from people who have more than us.
That's it.
You know?
That is actually mad, yeah.
That is so true, yeah. And like, I do think people condition each other and drive each other mad about possessions and stuff like that.
But that's when you think you've made it, when you have the car and the house and, you know, when the mortgage is paid and all the rest, you know, you've made it. But like, we all know in this day and age, no matter how much money you have, what you have in your pocket or in your bank account, man, anything can happen to you any day of the week, you know what I mean? There's people all over the world who have everything, who feel like they have nothing. Yeah. You know, if you haven't got, you know, peace of mind or someone who loves you or someone to love yourself, you know? Yeah. Have you really got it at all?
I know. I think collectively as well in the Western world anyway, there is a shift, and I think this is thanks to the internet and sort of like there was always, only until recently, for the first time in history, we have like like literally cameras into the lives of the wealthiest people in the world, and we see what they eat. And so now for the first time ever, it's not just through movies that we hear like rumors. It's like, no, we actually know. Like they go on podcasts now and they tell you their day-to-day schedule, and now it's sort of making them more human in a way. We're all starting to collectively live viscerally through like these rich people, to where we go, there's nearly a thing where I think we're like, yeah, it doesn't, you start seeing that they all have problems and stuff, and for the first time, like I think it's switching where, you know, people are, before they even get there, realize they don't need to get there anymore, that they can actually you know, find love before, or happiness. And
at the same time as well, you mean, listen, none of us can choose what family we're born into. If you're born into money, you're born into money. You might turn out like that, you could turn out worse than them. You know what I mean? Like, so like I'm saying, this is where it comes back to empathy and compassion for your fellow brother and sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can have all that and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Or you can be compassionate, you can share, you know?
Definitely. Sorry, go on.
Oh, there's a question I'm mad to ask you. You
Yeah.
know? Like, today is a very important day for you, you know, the coronation.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think I'm an Irish to get away from that? I was in the house this morning, the mother had it on the television. I said, listen, you better turn it off. I said, I didn't come all the way over here. You can watch it on the television.
I know it means a lot to you. Like, what exactly does it mean to you, the coronation?
Absolutely fucking nothing. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's people fucking starving, going through, you know, a living crisis, can't afford electricity. Yeah. And they're paying how much money? I didn't even check, 250 million or something for this.
Idiot.
Hans to fly around the place.
So what is it to make him officially the king?
Do you know what I think?
I actually don't even know.
Do you know what I think? It's actually interesting to watch people's reaction and stuff. For once, they can see everything that goes on. They're no longer brainwashed. And they're all going, what the fuck are we doing? But like, let's get on with it anyway, because it's kind of a thing we do. But there is, like, I loved your man, Robert Smith. King? Who says he should be fucking king? I'm better than he is. I should be fucking king. Fuck him. And knighting who? I don't want to be knighted by anyone. I'm better than him. I should be king. I think you should be king, Gogs.
Thanks, man.
100%.
I would vote for you.
I would.
I know.
I am a king.
Yeah.
And it's only some shit they made up. So,
yeah.
Like, you can knight people if you fucking want.
Yeah.
You're better than he is.
Should I get the sword, yeah?
Yeah.
So Hugh, you can be the first, yeah? I do think there's a lot of people that are still asleep though, man, because I saw some...
Is there?
Oh, jeez, there has to be,
love them.
I saw a yoke there on the television the other day. Oh, no, it wasn't on television,
It's all
it was on the
pretend
internet.
though, isn't it?
Someone draped in a Union Jack stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they had the fucking tricolour around the neck. And I was like, what sort of a spastic are you? Like, did you look at yourself before you come out of the house? Like, do you not understand anything? You know?
Yeah, I know.
You know the Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah,
right?
it is that.
It's that sort of carry on.
It is,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, even those Irish politicians going over there and all, you know?
Yeah.
But as the missus said to me this morning, like I said, they're not Irish at all. And she said, well, remember the politicians, so they're acting on behalf, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's not even them that's going anywhere. They're going there as something else, you know? A representative of the country or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a joke, isn't it? Really?
It's a fucking farce, man. I mean, I've seen all the videos and I've been sharing stuff on Facebook and Instagram.
Talking about
slating the daylights out all weekend.
Yeah.
If talking about empathy, I would actually have empathy for somebody who's going to become king or whatever. As in, it's so fucking ridiculous. You'd feel like such an idiot.
Not for sausage fingers, no empathy.
Sausage fingers.
No.
The guy is dumb as shit, like, isn't he? You know.
Yeah, but you can see he's an evil streak to him, though.
Oh, is he?
Aye, yes. You not see him there? There's pictures of him or videos of him on there, and he was like, move that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, all that
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
shit. Like,
yeah,
you know, talk to people like shit now.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of kings out there in other countries who are nice to their people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that was the thing back in the day. You know,
Yeah.
you look after your people first, and your people put you in power. But nowadays, people don't even have a fucking choice anyway.
Okay.
You know, people can't afford electric, people can't afford this and that, and you're parading around in a fucking gold horse and carriage.
So vulgar.
So that
So
you know?
vulgar.
And it's a fucking, it's a kick in the ass for everyone. You know, all the countries that they colonized.
Yeah.
You know, all the jewels on their crowns that they've stolen from how many different countries.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, I saw something that like it was like I think it was a Twitter account. It might have been, there's one called Close But No Potato, like, and it's basically where they show someone who's so close to realizing something but they don't realize it. And it was like there was someone saying there was a guy, he left a review on like a British museum. Oh no, he put a post on Facebook giving out about he went to a British museum and he's like, oh, I don't know why they're calling it a British museum. Everything in there isn't even from Britain. And
Exactly.
like, you're so close to seeing that. It's it's like you're seeing like the history of colonialism right there. Like, and he was just giving out that. It's like, where's all the British like history?
He hit the nail on the head, but he didn't on the hammer. It's one of them ones, you know. It's like that, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But it is getting to a stage where
People are feeling silly.
Yeah.
people
I
are
think
feeling
so.
silly. And when they got that slave owner down in Bristol and fucked him into the river.
Yeah.
like it's starting to happen. So what you have to do if you're smart and you're in the royal family is trying to take the lead on this and say, hey, do you want that back? Do you want this back?
Yeah.
Because they're coming for you.
Yeah.
And it's just it's
bit
not,
by bit.
Yeah, but it's not even like any country is coming for you. It's your own crowd are going to say, hey, put that back now.
Yeah.
It's only a fucking tourism thing anyway for anyone. Do you know what I mean? It just brings people to the country for them over there.
But like, I think it is easy as well for us to say like, oh, things are changing and people aren't as like kind of into it as much. But like when you do look into it, people are still like there's like you were saying there's still a lot of people asleep to it. Like there's so like
but there's an older generation.
There is so many clips going around of like people who are like so diehard into it, and if you say anything about the royal family at all like bad, that they'll like hate you. Like
I'll give them 2 generations and it'll be gone.
Yeah, like I agree. I agree. It's still there and people are still asleep to it. But I think it's the type of sleep where they're actually awake, but they're trying to get sleep, and it's like, you know, you're awake now, you may get up and do something like it. And did you know it's like they sleep when they woke up, now they're trying to go back to, like, I think it's kind of like that, because so I do think there's a small minority who are really into it, and they're so into it that's why we see videos of them online. Well, we see loads of videos of them online, and then we get the idea that because no one's going to video like us being boring not into it. Do you know what I mean? So there's no videos of them. I do believe there's way more, like as in before, like the masses, I reckon, who are watching, like, and even people who do watch like the royal family stuff, a lot of people are like watching it ironically now. So yeah, they're still watching it and feeding into it, but it's like slowly. I think it's still, there'll be generations before
I think
it's gone, but it is kind of
like
going.
the etiquette. So you must not have your back to the Queen or whatever, and you must do this and must. I'd love to meet her and tell her I have a load of rules as well.
Yeah. You're in my house now.
Yeah, you must hop on one leg when you come to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I was in a monks last night, and somebody came on the telly, and I said, I'll turn that shit off. And I think the monk said to me that Lady Thurles,
Yeah,
heard of her?
That's it. Yeah,
she
lived behind Daly's fish shop.
Yeah, they would be descendants of
both
Charles
and Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Charles and Diana.
Charles and Diana are Thurles people, both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
From Thurles.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Behind behind Coppingers, beside Coppingers.
So they would own the castle down there and all that carry on.
Lady Thurles. Yeah, they're both descendants of Lady Thurles.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. Sorry, I was getting way confused.
So their great granny used to go to Coppingers on a Monday night like the rest. So they're not really that different. We've a lot more in common than you know.
Yeah, and Harry's a ginger as well, so there we go.
He's Irish.
Yeah.
Irish as it gets.
I fucked a lot of them.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
Yeah. No time for the monarchy.
Like I that's my thing as well. I do have like empathy, kind of what Hugh was saying. Not like it's not to like say anything they've ever done. Like I think fuck everything they've ever done, all that stuff. But as in just like I feel like, you know, in sort of the same way they didn't choose to be rich. Like there's it's I think fuck the system for me, or fuck the overall kind of thing in it, and that, not just the English. In an Irish thing, like
the
system kind of thing, like.
No, we have it in play here as well. We just don't have a royal family.
Yeah.
We have all that shit, on play over here. Like you were saying, people are sleeping, people are waking up.
And we vote for ours in.
There you go.
They don't even vote for theirs. Imagine,
I'm not a believer in that either. I believe that if voting actually did that, and it would be illegal.
If it did it, and
because getting back to that as well, we're saying about, do we reckon most people have empathy? I would say. I would say majority of people just want to get on with their lives. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's all most people want to do, right?
Yeah.
So why have we not got to that then? Because you'd vote in people you think are going to do something for you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how come this person wins an election, that person wins an election, when you think, wait a minute, 99% of the people are on this side of the fence, but yet this lad, the 1%.
I know.
So I don't think that. I reckon people vote and all the rest of them and they can have their say. But for me, I've never voted. I don't think I ever will.
I haven't.
I don't want to play a part in it, man, because I just don't believe in it at all.
Okay. I part of me believes in system. I haven't voted myself for similar things. I just think, I think insanity, like I would just say, like insanity is like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Exactly,
I do think there is a possibility. There was always, I believe, the possibility for voting to make a difference, but I just think. So I'm not saying it still can't, but I definitely think, look, we've tried it a million times. Is there just a whole other thing that we could maybe create with the billions of geniuses that exist here?
There's
an
interesting perspective that like shows like kind of the way like voting kind of goes the way it does. Like I saw this it was like stats I saw one day that kind of was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. And it's like roughly, if you like, so the people that would benefit from like kind of government policy, so like whether it's like landlords, bankers, blah blah blah, any of those people that benefit do account for almost 30% of the population or 25% in around there. Okay. But then when you look at voter turnout for an election, it's about 60%.
Yeah.
So the policies they implement, they only benefit 30% of the population.
Yeah.
In a vote, all those people vote, so they're half of the voting population.
True.
Then you end up. That's why those people end up getting in, and that's why they get high votes because the people who are benefiting from the system are always going to vote. The people who aren't going to vote are people who are disillusioned by the system,
and they're the people that want to change.
The people who stand more to gain from it
that makes sense
don't actually vote.
To be fair.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. But do you think though, like, I don't know, the only thing. So I definitely agree with that, but I think so. I agree with that by part of it. But I think that, like, I think that's so true. That's also insanity is in the collective of is there just a different thing, like, because I think that's so true, like 100%. The people who want change are the people saying the same thing as I am, which is that I haven't voted because I don't think it works.
You get disillusioned.
Yeah, and disheartened, and that's the same. You see that in America, like of why it's always the same parties and the same sort of thing happening over and over, like. So I think so we should I
just try to stay
send them all to
politics,
Australia,
man, and all that sort of carry on, man. You know, it's just because we're just gonna go. Look, everyone's got an opinion, right? Someone's gonna get pissed off even if you're saying the right thing.
Yeah.
So you know, there's always gonna be someone. You're never gonna win an argument when it comes to politics or religion. You know what I mean? When it comes to any sort of those debates. So I tend to stay. I have an opinion on all of it, and I'll share my opinion with people. Yeah. But it's not something where I'd be like, no, this is definitely the way it goes. You know, because you don't know. None of us know nothing. Yeah. The man that knows it all knows fuck all.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always voted, right? I've voted in every election, even in England, right? Yeah, but...
So you're to blame, yeah?
No, I'm the fault. But it's kind of... I'm not sure that the people that you even vote in have that much power. Anyway, so...
everyone's a puppet.
Yeah. So, like, there was some minister resigning there recently, and he was resigning because he thought he had no effect on anything. You know what I mean? Everything was already there. They said, you could have got a bigger minister's job. And he said, the one I had was big enough. But it's kind of like, I believe there's probably a permanent government there of civil servants that just do whatever they do. You know what I mean? The politician's job then is to find out what are they doing and then announce it.
Yeah.
And
that's
you get elected.
Happens on a local level.
Passing information down the line.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what the perfect system is. I think you just do what you can and that's it.
I think a lot of them jobs are unnecessary as well, like, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are you doing all day in the door? What are you doing all day in House of Commons? What the fuck are you at, like?
I know.
You know?
It is mad.
You could be working.
It's only 3 days.
Could be out digging holes, couldn't it?
It's only 3 days a week in the doll, though.
You know what I mean?
Is it?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the only days they're there, like.
Busy.
I'd be...
Not even a long weekend, is it?
You often watch politicians as well or whatever and they're talking to people or whatever, and I could never, ever do that, like, because...
And be happy, shit, be proud.
I don't know, like, I'd be like, say someone's frying the head off you. I'd have to tell them.
Oh, you would, yeah.
You never get elected.
For people that have such, do you ever hear the term NPC? It's in video games. It's not their character.
Not a real character.
Like, for people who are so involved in the world, it is like they're on so autopilot. They're speaking like computer programs that they were programmed to say everything, so that there's no substance, no soul to it. Like, and I mean, I'm sure there's outliers.
I do say fair play to people.
Would agree with that totally as well. Yeah. She said the same sort of stuff. You know?
Yeah.
People who put themselves forward, though, fair play to them. Like, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Boy. I think you could, though. I think that's the problem. I think anyone could. It's just so boring and autopilot. Anyone could be a robot, is what I think.
You get the ad that breaks through, you know, like Ming Flanagan and them. It's like, you know, they're a fly in the ointment, aren't they?
Yeah.
And even, Joe, what you do hear, even people that I don't agree with, you do hear something genuine in their voices. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely,
and you know they're telling the truth. Like, even it's their truth or whatever. I do respect that, even if you wouldn't be on the same side as them or whatever. But
well, I mean, if for instance' sake, if you or me now was a politician, all the rest, and everyone in town knew you, and you listened to the people, and you went there and said, "Look, this is what the people of Thurles want." And you'd be like, "Yeah, that's definitely what we want." But the other people from the other county wouldn't know. Is that what we want? And they'd be thinking, he's talking shit. He's only out for himself and all the rest. So there's that as well, isn't it?
I suppose there is, yeah.
I'm all right with people. I'm all right with the ones who do say their opinion, even if I disagree with it. Like they because I actually believe they make change. Even someone who's on the far side, because like that's how change comes. It's like through like the sort of ping pong effect and stuff. It's just when it's just like they're better than just being in the kind of like, saying. It's someone who when you see them all. Ireland is the worst for it. Like the politicians when they word something where they can manage to word something to get both sides to vote for them. Because they say nothing and everything all at once. Like it's mad. It's a skill in itself.
It just reminded me of that, wasn't it? That Malcolm X quote I mentioned to you before. The whole thing where it was like he was saying it was something like I'll be paraphrasing it a little, but it's like he's saying like the true kind of enemy or adversary to the movement is the white moderate, because like the difference is like if there was like a racist, like Malcolm X knew where that racist stood, as in like, they're definitely against me and I know where they stand. Whereas the white moderate would turn around to you and be like, I support you, and then behind your back I don't support you. You never knew where those people stood, and like they were the people that were going to sit on the fence and allow things to happen.
So I have a couple of questions for you now as well.
Brilliant.
If you don't mind, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I've been away from Thurles for a while myself, and I've seen things change and all the rest. And there was a time where I was thinking of taking the business back to Thurles and all that as well. But every time I come back, there's just more shit closed down. What's going on, lads?
It's waiting for you.
It's waiting.
Yeah.
For you.
Those
king, the rifle
businesses that
king.
are closed down are just premises getting ready for the Gogsy.
Yeah, to start the ball rolling.
Yeah. It's actually the perfect time right now for you to come back. They're all coming back. The tide is changing.
So he sounds like a man who wants to sell me something.
You're getting in on the ground floor now, Gogs. There's no point waiting for 2 years' time when everything's gone sky high. It is actually buzzing. Things are really buzzing. There's loads of things.
You've been honest with me.
100%. Yeah. There is loads of projects saying about. I'd say you won't recognise the town in about 2 or 3 years' time. Seriously, there's people planning loads of things, and they all think the same thing. Oh, like there's nothing going on. Now's my chance to get in on it. And there is, like, you do notice it. Like the square is looking good. They're going doing the top half. They're doing down the mall. The water mill is now. The granary is kind of cool. The Source Art Centre is buzzing. There's something on every weekend.
Yeah. It's definitely. From what I know, definitely. It's a weird thing I always find, because for me I'd say the same thing, that it's buzzing and there's a lot more going on, and partly because we're the ones involved in making those stuff going on. But I definitely still find interesting. So a few years ago I'd been doing nothing other than sessioning and hating the fucking town. Wild stuff was starting to go on, but then we were doing loads of stuff, and there's other people there was a sort of surge. There's definitely a surge of people doing stuff all at once, for whatever reason, like creative stuff, events and everything. But I do always find it interesting. So for me, I'm like happy at the town, more than most and stuff, like people my age, our age and stuff. Definitely though, when I go back home, like to Oakfield, and, see the crack like within the younger people, or see like there's a whole estate nearly burnt down. I think it's nearly become, there's still a big problem. I would say the majority of people in Thurles would still tell you that there's nothing going on. I think for you, as someone who came back to Thurles, you'd like it. Like there's a lot going on because you're kind of able to get out there. I think people, it can go either way. I think it's at a crossroads now. I think there's the opportunity for it to be like this thriving place.
Definitely for like people like us who are involved in creative projects and stuff. Yeah. It's like you can see that there is a hunger there for like the change and like to make Thurles a better place.
Good,
but
and the art, like you were saying, and everything.
I do think if you were to look at like Thurles from like the outside and look on a whole, like I think there's still a lot of apathy there. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, the town is shit," and there's nothing worth doing, because they're not aware of these projects. Or people are busy with their own lives. If someone's like working crazy hours and stuff, they don't have time to do a creative project or make the town better. They just need to put food on their table. Like
So I agree.
So I definitely think like there's still a lot of apathy there, and there's still a lot of people who would view the town as like terrible and
like
going to change.
Because I left when I left, I had a negative outlook on the town itself. You know what I mean? I think the last straw for me was when Keith Doherty died. You know what I mean? I was like, what? Fuck this town. I'm never coming back, man. I've had enough. I saw too much before that and all the rest, and I was like, what? That was just the icing on the cake for me. I was like, look, it's just And I'd be talking with Michael Gleese. We're talking about coming back ourselves. I know Melvin's moved down from Dublin. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people that want to come back who have come back as well.
Class, really. Yeah,
I think for you definitely, like it's a weird one. Like it's like there's definitely a sort of limbo in it. But like if you're involved in it, I think like you coming back and would just add to the more stuff. Like if you're doing your thing, I saying like the town needs stuff like that.
I remember that, like when hanging out with you and Keith and Glossy and all that kind of thing. But it felt different then because I don't know, there wasn't motorways or there wasn't like, so literally I was studying in London, going over every third weekend. Yeah. And like I can just jump in my car out here. I'm up at the airport, Ryanair over. It's cheap as shit. Back, like you're not.
You've got options now, right?
Yeah, I go to Lahinch on a Sunday. It's like it doesn't feel like it was before. We'd no way of getting anywhere, or you know what I mean. Or
I mean, I'm in a totally different headspace now. Obviously, thank
and you have your
thank
business
God,
and everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got something to offer the town.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. Yeah.
Whereas I didn't in the younger days, you know.
And same as me, I was looking for a job or something. I didn't know where I was going to go, but now I can just. I'm working for myself, so there's loads of things to do, and it'd be the same for you if you were here. You'd be really busy. Yeah. It's a lovely place to live.
Yeah.
It's not kind of congested like it was when I was in Dublin or England or whatever.
I wouldn't be going from a city to a city anyway, you know.
No.
Ideally, I want to live by the coast somewhere in Ireland, you know.
Same, yeah.
But you know, this would be a great place to start though.
I love this here for working, and then a Sunday morning go off to Lahinch or something. You know what I mean? Surfing all day and then back again.
Nice.
And even I love the drive, the silence or the music or whatever. You know what I mean? Just away from anyone asking you to do anything. And
I suppose here in Thurles, you're slap bang in the middle of everything.
You can go
any direction you want.
I've always loved that. I always say to people, it's like, all right, I'm in Thurles, grand. It's about an hour and a half on a train to get to Cork. It's about an hour and a half on a train to get to Dublin. About an hour and a half on a train to get to Limerick.
Yeah.
You know,
an hour and a half from everywhere. Yeah.
It's in the middle of Waterford, Limerick, Cork, and Dublin. Like,
it's like
so good. Like it's in the middle of the Republic, but it's in the middle of the south. Like, you know, it's like right in the center. Like Athlone is the center of the whole Ireland, but Thurles is like the center of like
the universe.
Yeah.
We'll get Miggles to open up a studio in Thurles, so
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
You know? It's a weird. I think it's just a thing of you. If you had like years away, like I don't think you're not going to ever have that feeling again if you came back of these places, because you have like you've changed as for me. And I can say I feel like I still need to go for a while and you know find my like. Measure myself not through the mirror of Thurles, because at the moment I've gone away for like a college for a year and stuff, but like you know it's weird and you know yourself where you actually feel like you grow when you're away for a while.
Travel,
and you need to do that, like, so
you have to travel. I think the thing for me was like even my father said it to me as well. He said, don't stop in England, don't do what I did, don't stop in England, keep going, go see a bit of the world, you know. And I mean I've travelled a little bit in the last 8 years since I met the missus, but I mean before that I was just stuck in London, so London becomes what Thurles was to you when you was a teenager. You still feel like you're stuck in that box as well, you know. So I mean I've got what I wanted from London, so to speak, in a certain way. It's helped me grow as a person. I've seen life through other people's eyes. So luckily, by London being so multicultural, I didn't have to do as much traveling because I had all those experiences in that small space, you know. So that's the aspect that I do love about London, is the people, you know. But the city life for me, it's, you know, it's grating me down now at this stage, you know. I just want peace, clean air.
It's brilliant here. It's just so relaxing,
Well, the missus loves it every time she comes home as well, you know what I mean?
So, it's so different from what, like, felt like back then, like that kind of, because we're all just drinking and stuff, you know? I don't.
We weren't living, were we?
I haven't drank in over a year, like, that's
seriously,
no interest. It's no fair play. There was no interest. Like, I didn't say I gave it up or anything. Like, there's always something better to do. Like, go somewhere else or
that's
something.
Good. Yeah.
But
I'll get to that stage one day as well. I'll be surfing with him on a Sunday morning.
That's it, you will.
Yeah. Or doggy paddling.
That's how it starts. You know?
So come back and sponsor our festival with your business, will you? Because no one else. The town is dying without you.
What's the festival?
We're doing that
Tangle
thing up there, Tangle Around.
Okay.
We did it one day last year. We're doing it 2 days this year. I know. I think though, like, it is cool. Like, I think there's a health food store in Thurles actually that is doing well, which to me is good because it means that people's habits are changing. I never would have thought. So there's 2 health stores in Thurles now.
There's the one there in the square, and Nixie O'Connell's.
I mean, that's massive to me. That to see that, like, that just means it's indicative that people's habits and the town is better. Like in the summer, town is lovely now. Like all the cafes, and because of the new square, everyone's sitting outside. It's like being in Cork or something. Like it's cool when it's hot out. Like
I was thinking of getting onto the Tipperary Enterprise Board anyway. You know, because I know they do stuff for companies coming back.
They're brilliant. I did a course with them there last year, and like they pay for all your courses and your website, all that. the mentorship and give you a hand set up and all that kind of crap.
Be something to look into, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I was skeptical about all that kind of thing. I thought, what are they really going to say to you anyway? Until a couple of friends did it, and I saw their businesses take off.
Yeah.
And I was going, what's happening? They said, oh, you got to go in and meet this guy, and Blaze Brosnan is his name. And he just literally analyses what you're doing and tells
That's
you where
some
you're
name,
going.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh?
he's get stuff done.
He's a ninja, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's loads of support and opportunities here that, like,
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's only a matter of turning up.
This is it, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't get, to the fella, isn't it?
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. And definitely, yeah. When you ask around, that's why, definitely asking around Thurles has helped. Always a lot of projects and stuff, like a lot of people. There's a lot of help there, even systematically. Kind of, So, but yeah, come back anyway.
Yeah.
We'll do another one. We'll do another
Do
one.
another one, yeah. Part 2, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll finish off now. Thanks a million. Where can people find you online? Your Instagram is Irish.
Yeah, so
And
on
Jamaican.
Instagram and that, it's Irish and Jamaican. Irish spelled EYERISH.
What's that? I want to ask you about that actually.
So it's my nickname.
It's
Is Irish over in England.
Okay,
Over in
right.
England. So I spell it to be different. I spell it with the I.
That's cool, actually,
With
yeah.
the I raw. So then the symbol we use the I and then the rish.
No, yeah.
Just to be different as well, and obviously to represent consciousness as well.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
Irish and Jamaican.
Yeah.
And the CMOS Boss 1 on Instagram.
Yeah, I
number
can-
1.
I can put the
And,
link to that.
Yeah,
in
put all the links in the bio
description.
and all that. Carry on.
Yeah.
Best of luck with the wedding as well.
Thanks a million, mate.
Yeah.
I'll be a new man in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We'll light a Catholic candle for you.
We'll
here.
say a prayer.
Yeah. The beer
For her,
rolls.
Vintage.
for her, not for me.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me, lads.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Pleasure.
Right, thanks everyone for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify. Make sure you press the link below if you want to donate to the podcast. And Stevie promises if you donate, he will
Eat a banana.
dismantle his deep hatred towards lovely little
Yeah,
creatures.
I'll eat a banana if the
He'll eat a banana instead of a full Stevie elephant. You eat exotic creatures.
yeah.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye.
All right.
Good luck.